Welcome back, everyone. This is Mr. Brain, your friendly neighborhood gaming dad, here with another video. And with the recent update, we have just learned that we have two new heroes that are dropped for the upcoming month. The first 22 regions, I believe, are going to have access to these very soon. But I wanted to give you all my first impression of these two new heroes. I saw that they popped up after the update. I have not looked at them myself, so I'm going to go over just a brief rundown of what I think of these commanders. And the only thing I know about them right now is that they're rider commanders. Basically, if you've seen it in the update, in the announcements in Discord or various social medias, that's what I know right now. So let's go over this together, and I will do breakdowns of these heroes later on, either today or tomorrow. So let's start off with Jonathan the Wasteland Engineer, and I'm going to go ahead and say right now that's a bit of a red flag to me. Having the general tree, which is arguably the worst tree overall, on this man's screen tells me that he's either going to be a straight up support or secondary commander, or he has no designated role in the game. So, first impression there. Take a look at his skills. Okay, damage factor of 12,005. If target is part of a rally, the target's HP is reduced by 20% at max, and counter damage is reduced by 15%. They just made a counter rally commander. Don't get me wrong, that damage is nothing to scoff at, but the other two skills only work in rallies and only affect stats that come from rallies. This is effectively a 15% damage reduction if you're attacking a rally, because they're not basic attacking you, they're only counter damaging you. And you're reducing their HP, meaning that not only are you going to do more damage to them, but so is what they're hitting. Oh boy. When you defeat squads, recover own HP by a total of 11,250, and the effect is triggered at most once every 30 seconds. Every 20 seconds, inflict damage factor of 7,500 to a random target. Okay, this makes him viable in open field as kind of a tankier rider commander. If you can time your attacks to kill enemies within 30 seconds, which if you're using rider commanders in the field, you're going after other weaker commanders or high damage commanders that you can kill and kill easily. So he can target down the red and yellow marches on the field and try to heal his own troops back. That's actually pretty impressive. Great use in the field for group combat. Just focus down the weaker enemies and has a little bit extra damage. That 7,500 is okay every 20 seconds. I'm curious what this random target means, but we'll see later. Next skill. Basic attack has a 20% chance for reducing skill damage received by 7.5, up to 25% for 2 seconds. And if in alliance territory, it will also cause additional damage of 2,600 to the enemy. This effect can be triggered at most once every 6 seconds. So you're telling me once every about 5 to 6 seconds, you're reducing skill damage by 25% and dealing additional damage up to 2,600, which might as well be 2.5 free attacks every 5 seconds. Yeah, he's definitely meant for counter rallies. He's in your own alliance territory. Yeah, this is a counter rally in your own alliance territory. Get it up quickly, and it'll basically keep your enemies from being able to rally you effectively. Rider squad attack increases by 25%, pretty standard. When remaining troops fall below 30%, squad attack increases by another 20%. This is also a rally skill. The 25% is nice. It's not near as high as some other bonuses, because we've seen upwards of 40% bonuses total. But this additional 20% attack to all squads, keep that in mind, being activated when your troop gets below 30%, which is pretty effective in rallies. Because if you get down to 30% the first time, it's very hard to get it back over 30%, even if it is completely full. So adds an additional 20% if the rally draws out. Okay, and buffs damage by another 1250, reduces HP by another 5%, and counter damage by another 5%. Yep, this is a counter rally commander. Having the support tree and general tree means he's likely going to be a secondary commander. So let's see if they paired him with someone who's going to do the same thing. Lone Ranger Elena deals damage to target every second for 3 seconds. Total of 5,400, and if the target is flanked, 5,900. That's almost 18,000 damage in 3 seconds on a single target. I don't think even Chun reaches that number with her buff, right? No, not even close. An extra 25% on that. Yeah, no, it doesn't reach it. She's got the highest single target damage right now. If the enemy is flanked, which means that she's going to be a good pair for Jonathan on counter rallies. Because rallies, if you're countering, are always going to be flanked. Also great for targeting enemies that are targeting others, but chances are you can work with your team to focus down weaker enemies on the field. She's going to get a lot of good use. When receiving AoE damage, there's a 50% chance of reducing damage received by 22%, by up to 40%, and trigger rate is 90%. Now, the way this kind of worded weird, but it makes it seem as if there's a 90% chance that the damage received from AoE will be reduced by 40%, which means she can stand alone in group combat without being inadvertently killed by the likes of Lee, Lewis, and other AoE commanders. It makes her a bit bulkier. It's not bad. When flanking enemy troops, as riders should be doing, rider squad defense increases by 30% and damage to the flank target increases by 13.5%. Yeah, it looks like they made this character as a lead for Jonathan, because she does have the skills tree paired with rider squads, so she can make good use of that skill damage that she has as well as Jonathan does. Still that stupid general tree. But again, you don't need it. Increases basic attack damage by 30%, which, yeah, counter rally. When rage is above 50%, so half the time, basic attack damage increases to 53%. Holy crap. So as she gets closer to hitting you with her skill damage, she hits you harder. That's a neat little skill. Anyways. And her awakened is a straight 20% buff to squad attack, to rider squad attack, and increases travel speed by 15%. I didn't even notice that. There's no travel speed buffs for either of these commanders. They're banking on the speed of riders to begin with, not increasing their speed at all on the field like I believe Bella does increase speed. No? Rider squad travel speed 30% when not in battle, and in battle, when entering battle, travel speed reduced by 10%. Okay, so not worried about getting there quickly, but paired together will be capable of holding a position alongside infantry, and these two are going to be your counter rally commanders. So, initial assumption, they made two counter rally heroes. Elena lead, Jonathan support, great amount of damage, survivability with flanked damage reduction. Receiving AoE skill damage means if you're hitting a Lewis that's in a rally, they're not going to get hit much by it. Reducing counter damage and being able to heal if other people decide to start hitting them. This is. But in the end, Garrison is still extremely powerful. Making a set of commanders that helps benefit garrisons seems a little much for me. But we'll see how this pairs out. Chances are some of the big whales are going to go ahead and have these two commanders awakened. So we're going to see a lot more defensive play from Island Raid next time around. It'll be interesting to see how these two commanders play out. I will do in-depth breakdowns of these commanders just on paper, on my opinions of them in later videos. But with that, there's your two new heroes. This is Mr. Brain, your friendly neighborhood gaming dad, signing off.